Welcome to the On Deck podcast presented by LineStar. I'm Shannon Sommerville here with Tyler Wiemann. About to break down some fantasy baseball for today. Today is Thursday, May 26th. It is also
Thirsty Thursday?
Thirsty Thursday, Nasty Nester Day.
Oh,
It is also National Paper Airplane Day, National Blueberry Cheesecake Day, and World Lindy Hop Day, which I believe is a type of dance.
Yes.
Like an old-timey. You want to do that for us? I can barely get you to do the home run shimmy. I don't know
what the Lindy Hop is. So I might need an example.
Old-timey, I think it's like
that's
that.
how it is?
Yeah, just like this.
Right.
You also had a bad beat yesterday that we have to talk about before we get into the slate today.
Yeah, Joey Votto was just too good, was what happened. I bet him for one single or for over 0.5 singles, and he opened up with a home run, followed that up with a triple, then he got walked. And
if he had gotten a double, I would have. Oh, man.
I was kind of expecting that to happen. So
bad beat nonetheless.
Yeah.
So your streak over, but you're going to rebound today.
I will.
And we'll have our prop bets for you a little bit later in the show. We'll also have our home run calls. But first, we got to get to today's slate. We've got some great games on the slate for today. We'll start with our chalk report and go over some high-owned pitchers for today. Of course, it is also Showtime Day in Anaheim. Angels righty Shohei Ohtani is going up against the Blue Jays today. He's got a 2.82 ERA, 205 opponent average. Righties just 113 against him. His ERA, get this, 105 over the last 5 starts is his best stretch in that span to date. I mean, we've all known Shohei's great, but his pitching is getting even better. So what do you like about his matchup today against the Blue Jays, we know that those bats are very capable.
And I'm not going to go into too much detail. Like, Shohei is spectacular. We know that. The combined K rate today is like 27%, so there's some upside there. The one thing is the Toronto matchup versus righty. Toronto so far has been average or below average in most advanced stats towards righties. So even though you see that Toronto name, it's not quite as bad as it seems like it would be. They've just been underperforming so far to start the season.
Yeah, I mean, Vladdy's numbers aren't where we thought they'd be.
Yeah.
He's still good, but
there's several hitters that are kind of underperforming. So, you can absolutely go to
It'll be
Ohtani
interesting
today.
to see.
Yeah.
Also, I was reading about Shohei because I love him. Average velocity in his most recent start was his hardest in an MLB game to date. Among starters, his 97.2 mile an hour fastball this season ranks only behind Hunter Green, Garrett Cole, and Sandy Alcantara. So, just a little stat there for you.
Dude can throw the ball.
He's pretty good.
Yep.
Phillies righty Aaron Nola, also pretty good. He's going up against the Braves today, 40% owned on DraftKings, 34% owned on FanDuel. 3.96 ERA, 6 most strikeouts this season. Aaron Nola is a great pitcher. Last start against the Dodgers, though, he'd get tagged for 4 earned runs. 2 of those were home runs. 9 strikeouts, though. So even when he's giving up runs, he's at least giving you strikeouts. So, and when you're looking at this Braves team, they have the most strikeouts in all of baseball right now as a team.
Yeah, I mean, Nola has a 31% K rate, so those strikeouts are pretty much always going to be there. But Atlanta's 21st in WRC plus and a 26% K rate. So there's definitely obvious upside here. However, Nola has not fared well when the game is in Atlanta. In 2021, 10 innings, 8 earned runs, 8 Ks. 2020, did I say 2001? 2021?
Maybe you're living in the past.
I guess so. So 2021, 10 runs, 10 innings, 8 earned runs. 2020, 2.2 innings, 4 runs given up. And then in 2019, he had like 2 bad starts and 1 good start. I don't need to go into all the stats.
So
But
Truist Park is not his best venue.
Yeah, he has not been good at Truist.
All right. So that's a risky one there, considering those stats.
And ownership.
Yeah, and ownership is high, so maybe that's a fade play.
Might be.
How about A's righty Frankie Montas going up against the Rangers today? 35% owned on DraftKings, 24% owned on FanDuel. 3.55 ERA, 2.05 opponent average. Righties just hitting 198 against him. He's actually LineStar's highest projected pitcher for today. It's a little bit different than the consensus, but nonetheless, going up against the Rangers, who are 26 in average. So obviously a good play there in terms of the matchup.
Yeah, and I think it's for good reason that we're a little higher on Montas than some of these other guys. But Texas isn't good against righties. 4th worst in WRC plus, striking out 23.5%. Meanwhile, Montas is a 27% K rate, so there's obvious upside from the strikeout department. The one thing is he has struggled a little bit lately. 3.92 FIP over the last 5 starts versus 3.12 over the last 20. One other thing I'd want to bring up is in his last start, he took a line drive off of his throwing hand, so he only went 1.2 innings.
Something to think about.
But he's not missing a start. He's coming right back. I'm guessing he's probably fine.
Just a little bruise on the hand. You know, these things happen.
It does.
As we know, playing softball. Adult league softball. Anyways, let's go on to Guardians. Connor Pilkington going up against the Tigers today. 25% owned on DraftKings, just 2% on FanDuel. Today, I was like, who is this guy? Didn't recognize the name. Getting recalled from AAA Columbus to start against the Tigers, although this is his second big league start. Aaron Savali placed on the IL. What do you see for the youngster today?
Yeah, he's only at 25%, but I wanted to make sure we talked about him today because on DraftKings, he is the bare minimum price. He hasn't been super efficient with his pitches, and so he hasn't really made it very far into the games.
Right.
This has been something that's kind of happened to him in the minors too. And then in the majors, we're seeing a 30% K rate, but he hasn't been that guy in the minors. So I would be surprised to see that K rate stay like that. In the minors, he's been under 1 strikeout an inning guy. So you're probably looking in the low 20% for his normal strikeout rate.
Given his price tag, would you... I guess on DraftKings it would make sense.
Hey, on FanDuel I wouldn't at all. On DraftKings, yes. Being 4K, you don't need to do too much to have upside at that price.
Yeah, you can load up on some bats there.
Yep.
Let's take a look at some low-owned pitchers for today. See if we can find even more value for you. Tigers lefty Tariq Skubal going up against the Guardians. 17% owned on DraftKings, 5% on FanDuel. He's got a 2.22 ERA, which ranks 12th in MLB. 2.35 opponent average. 6 days ago, we held the Guardians scoreless through 5. So today against the Guardians, do you expect the same?
Yeah, so the Guardians versus lefties is bottom 5 in WRC plus. So they're not the same offense as they are versus righties. They strike out at 21%, so it's still not super high strikeout rate, but Skubal's just been amazing this season. FIP of 2, 28% K rate. So, the combined K rate's right around 25 or so. Right. But he's in a decent spot. He's been spectacular and not much ownership's on him. So I like the play.
And a trend for us this week, I feel like, has just been the Guardians haven't been as good as they started out the season. Totally. And we've definitely been looking at pitchers going up against them the past couple of days, it seems like.
And, it's really not that surprising. Coming into the year, we weren't thinking the Guardians' offense was going to be great. They got out to a super hot start. Jose Ramirez has been crushing it, and several guys have probably kind of overperformed, but they're starting to kind of revert back.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at Brewers lefty Eric Lauer going up against the Cardinals today. 3% owned on DraftKings, 2% on FanDuel. Lauer's been awesome this year. 2.16 ERA, 2.06 opponent average, and he's top 20 in strikeouts. Against the Nationals last time out, tossed 7 scoreless. We know Nationals are a good hitting team. So what do you expect from him today against the Cardinals?
Yeah, Lauer has been insane this year. He has a 33% K rate on the year, whereas last season it was at 24%. So he's came up 9% on his strikeout stuff. He has a 3.36 FIP. The one thing I'll bring out is in 44 plate attempts against St. Louis, they're only hitting 144 against him. Meanwhile, St. Louis is the best in the league versus lefties. They have a 147 WRC plus. The next closest versus lefties is your Yankees at 123. So a good 20-point cushion, 24-point cushion versus lefties. They're also only striking out 19%. So
I believe this game's at Busch Stadium too.
Yeah, his K rate may be pushed down a little bit today, but he's been spectacular in his ownership. Like, you gotta kind of look at it like below 5% on both sites when he's had such good games.
Right,
makes me need to look at him.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a little surprised he's not a little bit higher owned. That's some low ownership numbers for sure.
Yeah, I actually talked to our engineering department a little bit about that because I had thought his ownership would be higher, and it's really that. It'll probably come up a little bit. It'll probably come up a little bit, but not a ton.
All right. Well, good play there. Good guy to look at. Rangers lefty Martin Perez going up against the A's today. He's 10% owned on DraftKings and 2% owned on FanDuel. Another guy with great numbers. 1.64 ERA, which ranks third. 2.16 opponent average. Righty's hitting him at just a 191 clip. Hasn't given up a run on the road this year. And when you talk about the A's, I feel like we talk about them a lot, and lowest average in baseball.
Yeah, and when you have a guy that's a good pitcher and low owned and going against the A's, you kind of have to look at it. And Perez has been great. 2.4 FIP on the year. Only a 20% K rate, but he's been efficient. He had a complete game last game. Oakland, average or below average in all advanced stats, and 24% K rate. So he's a good option, and definitely take a look.
A lot of lefties out there today also. Not National Lefty Day though. Just I check on that every day. Don't worry, guys. All right, let's take a look at our stacks for today. The high-owned stacks we've got for today, we're starting with the Dodgers, who are going up against D-backs righty Humberto Castellanos, who's got a 4.29 ERA, 2.50 opponent average, and righties hitting him at about a 2.86 clip. Dodgers, of course, we know they've got some bats that can handle Humberto Castellanos.
Yeah,
is it worth the with the high ownership though? Is it kind of worth the?
It looks like they're by far probably the best stack on the slate. Humberto has a 5.2 FIP facing the Dodgers, who crush righties. And then so they have a bad starting pitcher. Their bullpen is just as bad. It could be a real long day for Arizona, so it's real no surprise that the Dodgers are the top stack, and it's a 5.2 implied total, which is the highest on the slate.
All right. Let's look at the Twins, who are going up against Royals lefty Daniel Lynch. And when you're talking about the Twins, they just saw their 6-game win streak snap. They had been playing pretty well. Royals, though, on a 6-game losing streak, and the Royals have the worst starting pitching ERA and worst bullpen ERA in the American League. During their 6-game losing streak, get this, they have a combined ERA of 7.96.
Wow.
And Lynch has a 4.01 ERA, 2.40 opponent average. So I can, given all that, I get why people are going to the Twins today.
And Lynch has been one of their better pitchers, surprisingly, but 4.33 FIP. Where he's really getting hurt is walking 4 batters per 9. Allowing 1.1 home runs, so it's not like they're really hitting him hard, but he does have a high barrel rate and 47% hard hit rate. So all of that pretty much comes up to a 4.4 implied total. Minnesota's a fine play. KC bullpen's not very good. If you can get to him early, then it could be another long day for the Royals.
Just a fine play. I feel like fine is a word I wouldn't want someone to use to describe how my outfit looks. Just saying.
I so badly want to say you look fine right now.
All right, that's it. You're off the show. Let's carry on, shall we? Let's talk about some fine, like actual fine and good low-owned stacks for today. Boston Red Sox versus the White Sox lefty Dallas Keuchel. Now the Red Sox, or the Keuchel, has a 323 opponent average. He has not fared well this year. Lefties crushing him, 375. Now, I did kind of take a look at his numbers. He does do a little bit better at home. Today's game is at home for him. However, the Red Sox, oh man, they've been crushing the ball. Yeah. I get why this is a good play for today. Is basically what I'm saying. It's fine.
It's fine. Keuchel's StatCast data has been okay. It's been fine. But he has a 5.8 FIP on the year, and where he's really getting hurt is he's walking 6.5 batters per 9. And in 87 plate attempts against Boston, they're hitting 278 against him with 3 home runs. Boston is incredibly hot right now. The bullpen for the White Sox isn't great either. So if you can really get the Keuchel, they can really kind of rack up some runs for the good old Bo Sox.
All right, let's take a look at the Brew Crew going up against Cardinals righty Adam Wainwright. He's actually been pretty good. 2.87 ERA, 2.24 opponent average. So not bad numbers. What do you like about the Brew Crew today?
Yeah, this is another one. Milwaukee will be super low owned.
Yeah.
This is a risky one because Wainwright can be good, but he's had some control issues all year. And in years that he's had those issues, his FIP has been like a point higher than his career average. So he's walking right now like 4.1 batters per 9. Over the last 5, he has a 4.28 FIP. Obviously not great. Milwaukee hits righties really well. St. Louis bullpen is one of the worst in the league. And then in 196 plate attempts, Brewers are hitting 293 with a 207 ISO versus Wainwright. So they have hit Wainwright well in the past as well. So this is one of those ones where it's going to be super risky, but it could come
Hey,
through.
And even if Wainwright pitches well, but they get to the bullpen, could be beneficial.
Exactly.
Nice play.
So.
All right. Let's take a look at the Braves going up against Aaron Nola. Yes. I know we talked about Nola as one of the higher owned pitchers for today. But if you're willing to fade him and take some of the Braves instead, this might not be a bad play given what you talked about earlier, which is some of the Braves have really gotten to him in the past. Yeah,
exactly. And that's the whole reason for this. One, it's a leverage stack. So if Nola does well, you're really going to get up there to climb the leaderboard kind of quick. But yeah, like I said, Nola has not done well in Atlanta. Obviously, it's a dangerous matchup because Nola is really good.
Yeah.
If Acuna plays, I do like this stack even more. However, I like it either way. But in 238 plate attempts, they're hitting 278 off Nola. Nola has a career 4.55 ERA in Atlanta versus a 3.32 career ERA versus Atlanta. Yeah. So he's been way worse, in Atlanta. And then also bullpen. Philadelphia does not have a good bullpen. Third worst WOBA, worst WHIP, worst BABIP. If they're able to get to the bullpen, they should be able to put up some runs.
Yeah, and those Braves numbers I was looking originally when I was researching for props was Acuna has been awesome against Aaron Nola, and I was considering him, although I really don't think he'll play today, given he has, I believe, what is it?
It's a quad issue.
Strain.
He just missed 4 or 5 games with that. Came back, played 4 or 5 games, and now it's obviously showing up again.
Given his history, I can see them playing that pretty conservatively.
Yeah, there's not much of a reason for them to kind of force him into the lineup.
Either way, there are still some other good bats for Atlanta to play as well.
Riley crushes them. There's a lot of guys. Ozuna does pretty well.
So yeah, nice play there. So we got some value there. Remember, go to LineStarApp.com. Download the LineStar app. It will help you tremendously in daily fantasy, and not just daily fantasy, in prop bets, home run plays, if you're doing some crazy parlays. It's all the information that you need to know to help place your bets and place your lineup. So check it out. Now let's move along to our home run calls for today. Okay, where are you headed for today's home run? I
am going with Juan Soto at home versus German Marquez, who is allowing 1.6 home runs per 9, allowing a .552 slugging to righties, 48% hard hit rate, and in 13 plate attempts, Soto has 2 home runs and a .545 ISO versus Marquez.
All right, let's see a Soto bomb.
Yep. He hasn't been hot lately, but I think he's going to do it today.
Yeah. You know who is hot, though? Trevor Story. That's where I'm going for today's home run call today. He's going up against the lefty Dallas Keuchel, who hasn't been good this season. .323 opponent average against him, whereas Story 6 home runs in the past week. Are you kidding me? I'm merely going here just because he's been so hot. He also slugs .586 against left-handed pitching, which is 179 points higher than he does against righties. I'm just keeping the story going.
You might as well lean into that. He's crushing it.
Leaning into it for sure. So that's my home run call for today. It's plus 275 right now. So I think some other people agree with me as well. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at our prop bets for today. Where are you going for prop bets? Are you keeping it with pitchers or where are you headed?
After my bad beat yesterday with hitters,
you're done with hitters.
I am going back to pitchers.
Oh, you're okay. I don't blame you.
We are going Frankie Montas over 5.5 Ks. It is minus 155, so the odds aren't as good as I usually like. However, I think this line is just way too low. He's averaging 6.6 Ks per game. As long as we take out the comebacker game last night.
Yeah, we'll take it out.
I was throwing that out. Also throwing that out, he's hit 6 or more in 6 of 8 games this season. And versus Texas, he has gone over 5.5 in his last 5 starts in a row.
Yeah, he's been awesome. And he will be a great trade piece for one lucky team.
For sure. Yes. Somebody's going to pay. Too.
Yes. I'm going Paul Goldschmidt versus Brewers lefty Eric Lauer. We're going over 1.5 bases. That's at minus 103. Now listen, Eric Lauer is a great pitcher. However, Goldie is batting .344 this season. He's had 2 home runs in the last week, and he's gotten at least 2 bases in 9 of 11 of the last games. And versus lefties this year, his batting average, .536 with a, get this, 1665 OPS. That is 2.5 times greater than the MLB average.
That's
He's
insane.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Give me the over 1.5 bases minus 103, which I think is pretty good. So we're rolling with Goldie today.
I like it.
Couple weather notes for you. Cleveland at Detroit, 55% chance of rain. Just a potential delay, if anything. Philly at Atlanta, 59% chance of rain. This is another situation. It's kind of been this way the past couple days. Scattered storms. If they miss by 5 miles, it'll have no rain at all at the stadium. So just keep an eye on it. Milwaukee at St. Louis, 39% chance of rain. Just a stray shower here. Nothing to be too concerned about. Boston at the White Sox, 52% chance of rain. And those storms should be pregame, so they should clear out by the time for first pitch. So not too bad today in the weather department. Oh, so should we celebrate National
Paper Airplane?
Paper
Absolutely.
Plane? I was never good at this growing up in school. Were you good at it?
God.
Were you any good at it? I was not.
I used to have fun throwing some paper airplanes. I have not done it in a long time, though.
I can do origami, but... Yeah, okay, I'm just going to stop, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Have a good one. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below.
There you go.